chicks flocked to you in the 69 Fed?
You know, I really haven't taken it out that much. The best part is there's no better shifting transmission than a Muncie.
Really?
No. It's a 383. The stock motor is long gone. I'm not one of those numbers matching guys.
It feels like a 350 horse 383.
Yeah? It's mild. It's got aluminum heads of some sort.
It's very smooth.
It's got 373 gears in the back. But overall, I mean, I don't like taking it on long highway drives.
So you haven't been able to go into areas where you would just be a babe magnet?
I don't know. You know, I'm on the road, Freiburger. I don't have time to just cruise around in my vet, except locally.
Tends to get a lot of dirt inside.
Yeah.
By the way, the roadster aspect of it is also good. I approve of that.
That was a little messy.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
I think we should do a Cougar versus Corvette bang shifting test.
Really?
That means fixing the front suspension, fixing the oil leak, maybe putting some gears in the Cougar.
I actually already moved it to the shop and started taking the front end apart and started rebuilding it. And then I just wanted to wait for you to come and help me finish the job.
Yeah, let's fix it up. Yeah. The car we're dealing with here is the Bang Shift Cougar, a 1967 Mercury Cougar that was in the very first episode of Roadkill Garage. And you know what? This is the very first episode of season 6. So it's been 5 years since we originally put this together. And there's a whole backstory of me buying the car and then getting it running and then trading it off to Steve. But what's important is that it initially had a 351 Cleveland in it. It now has a Ford Windsor 302-based 363 cubic inch stroker in it. And most importantly, the 4-speed that makes it the Bang Shift Cougar. The problem is, it doesn't bang shift anymore because the clutch slips really badly. And we think that that's because of an oil leak at the back of the engine, and this engine has leaked oil out of the back forever. It dates all the way to when Mike Finnegan and I drove a Ford Ranchero all the way to Alaska with this engine in it, and it leaked then. And then it leaked when Dulcich rebuilt it and we were testing it on the Engine Masters show. And then, surprise, it leaked again when we actually installed it in this car. The other thing is, even though it has this big leaking problem, this big clutch slipping problem, you don't want to drive the car anyway because the front suspension used to be a disaster. So what's happening right now is Steve's got the whole front suspension blown out of it. We're going to be rebuilding that on the episode. But first, I got to order all the parts for working on it, like to get them here tomorrow. And so the first thing we're going to do is rip the top loader 4-speed out of the car so that we can see what clutch disc we need and perhaps even find the source of that endless oil leak so that we can fix that as well. That's it.
I've almost got this transmission ready to come out.
Wow, there's a bunch of dog hair and rat poop in here.
No way.
Are you ready to have it out?
I think it'll come right out.
Ooh, it's coming right out. Okay, ready for down?
Yeah. At this point, we have gravity working toward advantage. Oh, ooh, oil.
There we go.
All right.
This is what makes this entire car great. The Cougar is nothing without the top loader.
No. The bell housing is off.
Great.
This clutch is completely fried. That is going to be it. That is roasted. That is charbroiled.
This is the clutch disc out of the Cougar, and it is absolutely the most destroyed thing I've ever seen for a clutch disc that has maybe 50 miles on it. That is wrecked. One thing it is not, though, is oily. We thought it was probably saturated with oil from the leak at the back of the engine, and it isn't. So why is it ruined? Probably because we never broke it in. In standard Roadkill fashion, we installed it and we went out and did burnouts for your viewing pleasure. That probably wrecked that thing completely, because that's unbelievable. But we still do have an incredible oil leak, and we've been investigating hardcore under there to see what it is. This is the mid plate that goes between the bell housing and the back of the engine. And by looking at it, we can see really carefully some witness marks of oil leaks on this thing. And it's either coming from the cam plug, which is about right here on the back of the engine, or from the oil pan gasket immediately at the back of the engine, right under the rear main seal. Doesn't seem to be the seal itself. It's a one-piece seal. We'd be shocked if that's what it was. So what we're gonna do is something fairly Mickey Mouse, but also kind of genius. We're gonna fill the engine with automatic transmission fluid, which is really just a very, very light oil. And we're gonna see if we can actually watch it dripping out of the bottom of that oil pan seal. And if it's not, it's probably the cam plug. Stop. It's pouring out of the bolt hole in the crankshaft.
You could put a bolt in there.
Okay, so we know it's well above that point. Okay, no glistening. So now I'm waiting. The oil leak investigation is complete, and sure enough, it is leaking out of this oil pan gasket seal at the back of the engine. It's not the rear main seal. This aftermarket pan is just not squishing the seal at the back enough, and it's dripping out of there. So I think what we're gonna do is drop the pan at the back, clean it all up in there, and smudge some RTV in it and put it back together, which is not the right way to do it, but it's the Roadkill Garage way to do it. It'll be good enough. We got it all together and started to bleed the brakes, and everything was going peachy until the brake pedal turned rock hard. Now, basically what that is the mechanical version of Steve blasting the Cougar down the road, bang, shifting third gear, and then careening straight into a phone pole. It's all over.
I can't believe you gave me that mental imagery, Freiburger.
That was pretty gruesome, wasn't it?
How can you do it to me?
So bottom line is, when that brake pedal went rock hard, it seems to have maintained pressure in the entire system, which we've seen before with bad master cylinders. But then we break the lines on the master cylinder and it doesn't help. The rear wheel's locked up even when you pull the bleeder screw completely out of it. And for some reason, this isn't a super common car anymore, I guess, because we can't get a master cylinder in time and we can't get any wheel cylinders.
Yeah, I bet you there's all kinds of mud in those brake lines clogging it up somewhere.
Right, which brings me to the other point, which is I'm sick of working on this thing.
No way.
So instead, we're gonna hop back into Steve's Corvette and go see another surprise project vehicle, and the Cougar will be running and driving in the next episode of Roadkill Garage.